Telecommunications connects businesses around the continent, and it also enables tech startups to find solutions to problems on the ground. Now, one tech startup in Nairobi, Sokowatch, is helping the informal sector connect to large Pan-African manufacturers, making them more agile and competitive. Here in Nairobi, Kenya, a digital transformation is happening. Meet Mary Njoki Wambui. She's one of the millions of informal traders who account for 80% of sub-Saharan Africa's labor force and 55% of its GDP. And now, an e-commerce app, Sokowatch, is connecting her local store with big suppliers.
With the Sokowatch app, I managed to save the money for transport, time. Some goods are a little cheap, depending on the wholesalers.
In just a few clicks, she can restock her shelves on the same day without having to pull down the shutters. The delivery is free of charge. Hers is just one of 18,000 small businesses that uses Sokowatch.
I believe that we're doing a huge transformation of this informal economy, which if you look at the African retail sector, actually over $800 billion of goods are sold through mom and pop stores across Africa every year. And so really, I mean, this is not, some small part of the economy. This is actually the majority, the significant majority, over 80% of the retail economy that flows through these small shops. The reality right now that you have all of these middlemen, you have all of these critical issues around lack of access to financing, lack of access to tools to manage and formalize one's business, I believe are really actually holding back this sector. And so, for Sokowatch, I really see our aim as being able to come in and provide these mom and pop stores with the tools, with the technology, with the services to unlock their potential.
Those B2B connections aren't just good for the small guys, it's big data for the suppliers.
Typically, most retailers in Africa really struggle when it comes to access to goods and services. So where Sokowatch becomes really integral in that process is because we've taken the power of e-commerce and technology and really put this in the hands of the retailers. And then we're also using the consumer data that we are gathering from the trade and feeding it up back to the manufacturers. So if you think about that process in an entirety, the manufacturers are getting access to consumer data that they lacked before.
It also offers lines of credit to the informal traders who wouldn't otherwise be able to get financing from traditional banks. Tanzanian brand METL Group is one of the suppliers that is teamed up with Sokowatch. Chief Executive and President Mohamed Duji says it's transformative.
To be able to empower this informal trade, which I think is a big business, and for them to be able to be competitive and for them to make money, I think, you need to have innovative products. You need to come up with this credit structure, because there is no so-called credit rating agency that can rate these people all across, like in the Western world. So you have to create your own system to create algorithms to be able to say that, look, we can see the buying patterns and we can give so much credit, et cetera, to how to empower these people. So I think this is the future.
So much so, METL Group is developing its own version, MoSoko. The firm Brighter Bridges monitors the tech space in Africa, and it says Sokowatch and other startups are creating corridors for B2B commerce to thrive. And Africa's Continental Free Trade Agreement will help drive that even further.
The disposable income of most populations across Africa is growing significantly. The GDP per capita is growing across Africa. Infrastructure is growing. Transaction costs are being lowered. More payment options are being put on the table, which means people don't have to carry cash in order to perform any transaction, but they can actually do it online. And so all of this will contribute to raising what we call this tide, right? This economic tide that will empower obviously consumer, and by empowering consumer will ultimately trickle down into businesses.
Sokowatch and apps like it are part of the drive to formalize this massive and untapped sector.